Hello, I'm fenlandfisherman and welcome to another fishing video.
Well, hello, and the intrepid duo are back once again. We're actually just come back down to the harbour. We're doing a bit of a special challenge today. We're actually trying to catch as many different species of fish we can. As you can hear, the locals are out in force behind us. But yeah, we've come down just for the evening session today to see if we can have a bit of a species challenge. However, we're also going to be coming down for pretty much the whole of Friday. I think that's a shock to you, but yeah, we're going to come down for the whole of Friday to see if we can just catch as many species as possible. Got a nice array of baits with us. We'll take you through the tackle and the tactics a little bit later on, but fingers crossed, eh mate? Already had a little flatty, and hopefully we can get a few more fish.
First little flatty, not too big, it's a start at least, nothing rare, standard.
Right, so I just thought I'd give you a quick run through the sort of tackle that we're using, that I'm using at least. And this is the sort of main rod I've been using. It's my little light coarse rod which I've been using. It's actually a Ron Thompson Avon quiver that I bought when I was too poor to afford a John Wilson quiver. But honestly, it's pretty awful coarse rod, but it's been a pretty good little sea rod. And the reason why I've been using coarse gear of late is just you get a little bit more fun out of the little fish you catch. Most of the fish me and Matt have been catching at least have been really quite small, cod and coaly, haven't we? But actually these coarse rods have really given us a bit more fun out of them and you get quite a good fight out of the fish. So the rod I'm using, like I said, it's a 1.5 or one. I think it's a 1 3/4 pound Tesco, so it's very light for this sort of sea gear. So what I've got is I've just got some of the 15-pound surf cast line. That's just from Gardner. Just spooled up my reel this morning actually, because I find in the sea the lines seem to sort of just degrade a lot quicker than they do when you're coarse fishing. So I just spooled up this morning. It's casting lovely. And what I've tied that to? I've tied this on the 50-pound surf shock. All that is just I'm using it as like a shock leader, like you would when you're carp fishing, and using larger leads. Again, I'm going to take you through this tackle a bit more in depth a little bit later on. I'll film a little segment at home for you. Just got a couple of wire booms there to stop with some crimps and beads. Again, then onto the wire booms, I just tied, I don't know, about 6-inch length of, again, some of the surf cast line in the 15-pound. I've just got a size 2 and size of hook there, barbed. That's holding on a lovely bit of mackerel. On the bottom, I've just got I think on the bottom one I've got a really nice small hook on here, mainly for the flatties and things. As I said, I'm after the smaller fish with this rod. I've got I think that's a size, size 6. Yeah, size 6 talon tip. Lovely little hook there, and I've had quite a few flatties on them. I'm doing quite well on that. And lead-wise, I'm actually using, I believe this is a 3-ounce gripper lead. And actually, this has been doing really, really well. And I've actually preferred using these to the proper gripper sea leads. Like spot with fishing here, tide doesn't tend to be too much of a problem, and wave action as well. You can actually hold bottom of the lead like this really nicely, and it seems to work quite well. So, like I said, I'll take you through the tackle and stuff a bit more in depth a little later on at home. But we've been catching on this; it's doing well for us, and yeah, pretty happy with it. I'm going to put some more bait on now. I'm going to go mackerel on both hooks. Just tried out mussel. Me and Matt have bought a load of mussel, and we do know it's sort of the best bait down here at the moment. But we're trying to save it for later on in the evening when, you know, we really want the cod and stuff to bite. So we've got to sort of hold ourselves back from using the good bait and stick with the mackerel for now. Well, second species now, and I caught this one. Tiny little coaly. That really is a small one, isn't it? Hopefully we'll get a few bigger ones, but that one, just check on the light rod and the worm. Oh, just nearly dropped it. Got him though. Yeah, taking on the light rod on the worm, pretty lively. So let's put it back. But second species, let's get that cod now. Right, I'm just going to put my larger rod out now. I'm also going to still be fishing with the lighter rod tonight. The season's coming in. We want to start getting ready for the cod. So this rod's going out quite a way further. heavier rod, heavier lead, a 6-ounce sort of casting lead on here to re-whack it out. It's getting out into the boating channel. Out for any sort of cod and whiting. There you go, that's about right. Let's sink. Yeah, there you go. Face it down to the tripod. Absolute magic fishing this, sun's just going down. Matt's already kicked us off with a dab. I've had a couple of little dabs as well. We've got our first species down, hopefully. Maybe cod today, maybe even a coldie. We'd really love a whiting. It's actually a shame because, you know, we've been fishing quite a lot. I just really haven't had a chance to make a video. I quite enjoy just going out and relaxing and not having to sort of, you know, work myself up about filming. But I thought it's about time I got back out with the camera, and I'm glad I have, because hopefully we can catch some nice fishing for you. As I said, sun's going down now. Beautiful evening over Scarborough, and yeah, hopefully we can get in contact with a few fish. Well, third species to meet, and it's a, well, I say it's a cod. It's a very, 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 very small cod. Oh, lively again, like the coldie was, but nevertheless, that is a cod, and brilliant. Third species down. Come on, Matt, you're falling behind now. Right. Well, let's get him back. I'm going to call that little codling. Hopefully, we should get a proper one later on. Very lively though. Right. So there you go. My second cod. So same species again, but still nice fish. It's come to darkness now. Just took a lugworm. Getting a little bit bigger. Still not taking size yet, but nice little codling. Right. Slip it back. Well, here we are again in my room talking about the tackle and things I'm using. I tend to do one of these with all my sea fishing videos just because it's quite often really hard to film these sort of segments when you're out there. Just usually the wind and the spray and stuff, as you can imagine, it's not exactly ideal filming conditions. But we'll take you quickly through it now because I've noticed that some of these can go on for quite a while, so we'll try and keep it short and sweet. Now, I briefly talked you through the sort of my lighter rod setup, and I really won't spend long on this now. But yeah, as I said, you know, the rod I use for my sort of lighter fishing here is effectively just a heavy coarse rod. That's what you use for barbel. As I said, I bought this, it's a quiver rod, Avon quiver, and I brought it instead of buying a John Wilson one because I didn't have the money at the time. This is years ago, and it was crap in all honesty. But for this sea fishing, it's spot on. Like I said, I've got loaded up with a 15-pound surf cast mainline, which is running down to like a sort of 50-pound shock leader. And as you can see, I use these actually in all my sea fishing now. These are some little wire booms, just buy them cheap from the tackle shop. And what I've done is I've got a couple of little Gardner beads there, and I've just stopped them using some crimps. And this line's so heavy you can easily crimp onto it. So I've just put a couple of little crimps there, same sort of stuff I use for my pike fishing, and that just holds the wire booms in place. Then after that I have a sort of length, I don't know, of about, see, it's quite short. I still put using very long rigs, but I've had to keep this short, otherwise it tangles with the, I've got one of these below it. If I have it long, it then just goes down and tangles with that one, so I've had to keep this short. It's about 6 inches again of the surf cast, same strain, 15-pound. Yeah, so 5-6 inches of that, and then I've got a, I think this one is a size 4 mugger, this one I've got on there. And one thing I've noticed actually about using sort of the carp hooks and stuff as opposed to the sea hooks, which I obviously started off on, they're a lot, you know, they seem to stay sharper for a lot longer. And again, it's the same rule with sea fishing as it would be with your carp and coarse fishing, that, you know, sharp hooks catch more fish. So, and I've definitely noticed that recently when I've been fishing quite often beside people. I might not catch more than them because obviously I'm not a very accomplished sea angler. But when I do get a bite, I tend to catch the fish that's having a go at the bait, and that could be down to the sharp hooks I'm using, but I'm not too sure. Now, one of the sort of aims of this video, as well as the first part, which you've just seen, was about trying to catch as many fish as possible. I'm also trying to show you that I'm trying to appeal to the coarse anglers. Obviously, they're people who mainly watch my videos, and I want to try and show them that when you go, you know, places like Scarborough on holiday, you don't need to go out and buy all the sea fishing gear. I know a lot of people don't even bother fishing. I think, God, I've got to buy a load more gear. So the stuff I'm going to show you now, except from a couple of little bits, literally it's just sort of the same sort of gear I'd use for my coarse fishing and carp fishing back home. And like I say, if you just look after it, you wash it off with a bit of fresh water and stuff, once you've used it, it should be absolutely fine. So I've already shown this sort of coarse gear I'm using on my light rod. This is my heavy rod. This sort of thing I'd use for specifically go after the larger cod and whiting. I've only had a couple of sort of takeable cod this year, but I think at least one of them came to this rod. I think the other one was just on an off chance on my lighter rod. But this is what I use to actually specifically go for the larger fish. Very similar setup again, just except from the rod. This is actually a Mick Brown specialist deadbait rod. Same things used for my catfishing. Now I've got a set of 3 of these, so I use 2 for my catfishing. One's miscellaneous because I only ever used 2 rods. So I thought use it for my sea fishing. Anyway, so yeah, 15-pound surf cast line again. And that's just running down to again the 50-pound shock leader. And it's quite interesting with this one is because what I'm doing is I'm still using the wire boom, I'm still stopping it with the crimp and the bead. But what I'm actually doing is rather than actually keeping it in one place tonight, I'm letting it run. I haven't got 2 rigs on this rod, I've just got 1, so I can do that. So just running up from the stop, you know, the crimp, sorry, and just running up to the swivel. And I've literally just pushed one of the target buffer beads on there actually, just to sort of protect the knot a little bit. And the reason why it's just an experiment really, so it might not actually make much difference, but this is for my own sake. I've noticed that I'm getting snagged quite a lot, and actually what I'm getting snagged in is not rocks and stuff, it's algae, so weed and algae that's out there. So what I'm doing is I've just sort of developed this little rig, and it's very similar to how you'd sort of tent fish in the summer, in that you have a sort of helicopter rig which you can fish in weed and stuff, meaning that when it's sinking down, your actual hook link rises up and sits above the weed, or flutters down and just sits above the sort of detritus and stuff on the bottom. It's very similar. So I've made it so when I cast out, heavy lead obviously plummets down on your hook link, but because I've now got, I don't know, about 10 inches of running space on there, that means my hook bait just flutters down slowly and will just sit on top of the weed and stuff, rather than getting dragged into it and catching up. And actually so far I haven't been snagged up once with this, so clearly it's making a difference. Although I do know sort of the hardcore anglers are probably looking at this and going, what the hell is he doing? But you know, I'm just using my coarse fishing routes to see if I can improve my fishing, and certainly this has for now. Again, I've actually got a longer hook link on this coming off the boom here to what I do on my other rods. Like I said, the only reason I have short hook links on there is because I'm fishing 2 rigs. If I have too long a hook link, it gets caught up with the one below it. So this is a fairly short hook link, sorry, a very long hook link. It's probably about 10 inches, 10 to 11 inches long. I've actually got then, because like I said, I'm after the larger fish, I've then got a size 2 incisor there, barns obviously. Another point which I brought up last year about using getting coarse hooks especially, is that I found they hold the bait better. Now a lot of people wouldn't even consider that as a point to address when looking at hooks. But with sea fishing you have like an added difficulty in that, because of the sort of pressure you're putting under casting, because you're not using hair rigs and things, you need in my opinion, you need a hook which is really going to hold that bait well. And most people get over that by using bait elastic, which I do also use. You have to hold the bait on. But I've found that using these sort of wider gape coarse hooks, you can really, like with mussel and especially mackerel, the bait seems to hold on a lot better. And I've actually found that the barbs on these hooks seem to sort of be stronger and stay intact longer than the sort of normal sea hooks which I would be using, which sort of seem to disintegrate in all honesty. So as I said, my main sort of improvement which I've seen from my course background is actually the hooks. I feel that the hooks have really sort of definitely benefited me. Another thing which I started using as well is carp leads. I'll try and show you this here. I've actually got carp gripper lead there, sort of thing you use for, I know, barnacle carp fishing, see it dangling off the end of the reel there. That's 4 ounces, that one, and I use that same size on both rods. And where I fish, the tide isn't that strong, isn't any severe wave action. I believe I said a lot of this on the video, so I'll keep it short. But there isn't really any severe wave action about, so I can hold bottom with a gripper lead like that. I've tried holding bottom with sort of, you know, standard round leads and pear leads, but they don't hold bottom like a gripper lead. That sort of grippy surface it has to it, it seems to add that little bit more, I know, I hate to say it, I keep saying it, but a little bit more grip which you need to hold bottom in that sort of area. So that's the sort of coarse tackle I use for my sea fishing. I also used my light rod for the mackerel and stuff in the summer. I had some great fun last time. I really wish I filmed it. Just tying on like a little sort of spinner and casting it out. But I literally hit the mackerel just at the end last summer when they were just sort of depleting. But this summer I'm going to try and use a light rod, and I'm going to have some mackerel feathers coming off. So rather than a single spinner, I want to catch 5 or 6 mackerel in one go on that rod. I want to see it bend double. That'll be an interesting thing, won't it? But yeah, I'm going to get out hopefully later on this week to finish off this video, because I don't really like ending it with me just sitting here chatting about tackle and stuff. But I have had, like, because since my last sea fishing video it's been quite a while, and I have had quite a lot of questions about what to use now. You know, has anything changed? Well, as you can see, some of it has changed and some of it hasn't. And if anything's changed, I've gone more over to coarse tackle, because I really want to make a video in the next few weeks or months about totally using coarse ski, including bait and everything for sea fish. I'm determined to catch a sea fish on pellet, and I reckon I'll be able to do it. So I'm just trying to prove that someone, because when I first came to Scarborough, I thought, Christ, you know, I wasn't really into sea fishing out, you know, I was all about rivers and lakes and stuff. But obviously you want to fish, so I gave it a go, and I did struggle. But I want to try and just show people that you don't have to worry about it. It's not that different, you know, if you just apply yourself and carry on to think like a fish. I know it sounds stupid, but you know what I mean. You'll be absolutely fine. And just, if you've got some old rods and reels, like the reels I use here, my older Kumba Interceptors, which I used to use some carp fishing, again, you'll be absolutely fine. I mean, I did go out and buy a sea rod when I first got here, and that was the biggest mistake I made, because it's so heavy. You don't feel anything when you're bringing in a fish. With these, because they're made out of carbon fibre, and obviously they're lighter and etc, etc, you actually get fun out of the fish. I've noticed using my sea rod I never really had much fun, but with these, a little collie like that will actually put up an okay fight. And that's one of the major changes I've seen between me going from coarse to sea fishing, except the fish just don't fight as hard unless you're catching mackerel and things. But anyway, I said this wouldn't go on for too long. I think I've probably gone on for over 10 minutes, but there you go, once I get chatting. So you know the tactics I'm now using my rods. Bait wise, I vary so much at the moment. I caught a load of mackerel, as I said, in the summer, so I've froze them, filtered and froze them, and been using them as bait. However, we run out now, so what I'll be using next week I don't know. I've got some black logs, so I might use that, but what I really want is peeler crab for the cod, but getting hold of peeler crab isn't going to happen, and I'm not going to go down the beach and collect them myself. I haven't got enough time. But anyway, stop rambling on. These are the tactics I'm using, and I hope that's helped you at home. Well, good morning, and it's the second session now. As you can tell, I'm here on my own. It's not the Friday morning session I said that, or the Friday day-long session that I said we're going to do in the video previously. It's actually about a week on from that now, and just because of the amount of work we've had, we just haven't been able to get out. As you can tell, Matt's not here. I just thought I'd pop down for a couple of hours on my own. It's a Sunday morning. It's very, very cold. But don't worry, I've got my warming cup of tea. As I always say, most important item of tackle when you're fishing. Yeah, so here on my own, literally it's going to be here for a couple of hours. As I said, it's freezing cold. I didn't quite sort of wrap up appropriately, but I've got some more layers of me, it's alright. I literally got very little bait with me. I stopped down the shop last week and got myself a packet of live worms, because I'm through all my summer mackerel which I've caught and frozen for bait. That's all gone now. So I literally just stopped down, got some live worm, and half it's dead now anyway, so I'm just trying to use that. I'm not going to spend more money, being a poor student and all. But anyway, get to the point. I'm here for 2 hours. I'm just going to literally keep casting the bait about. I've got one rod, it's my light rod, a couple of hooks on there. I'm literally going to keep casting it around. I've got a few lightly areas. If they don't produce fish, I'm going to start worrying. But literally just one fish would be nice to round off the video, and if not, well, I'm not going to bend over backwards just to catch one. But it's a fairly nice morning. It's a bit cloudy behind me, but the sun is rising the other side of me, which means obviously I get none of the heat. They've got a bloody great wall behind me. And you think, that's alright, you know, because at least the wall's a windbreak. It isn't, because the wind's going off inland. So being in the unique position I am here with this harbour, I just get the wind straight in my face and end up freezing to death. But you know, there are definitely worse fishing spots. But it's just hopefully a flatty or something, you know. And talking of which, I just had a bite, which is really fantastic. Except the tea didn't fall over, that's the most important thing. But yeah, so as I said, hopefully a flatty. The bite I just had looked very flatty-ish. Just a little tap, nothing spectacular. But you know, I'll be happy if I catch, and happy if I don't, because it means I've got out doing some work this morning, which is brilliant. Although I've still got it to do. Anyway, stop rambling on, and hopefully you'll catch a fish. Well, I think I might be in actually. Haha, first fish of the session. You know what? And I'm taking bets it's probably going to be a flatty. But gave a nice little tap, just in my intro actually, and I gave a little tap as I said, but it's just come off. No, it's still on. Here it comes. And it is a little one as well, but it's a fish. And that's the most important thing. Not a blanket. There you go. Lovely little flatty. Saved me from a blank. Cracking fish. Actually made my hand freezing now because got water. So there you go, just unhooked it. There's the worm. There's the fish. Happy bunny on the other end. Really good. Right, let's put her back. Fantastic. See if we can get another one. Well, fish number 2 for me, and as you can see I've donned the gloves and the fleece. I'm very cold. Even smaller one this time, but still happy. Interesting coming on the same hook. As I said, I've got 2 hooks on this rig. I've got one with a long bit of tail of the worm exposed, which is the one this one just hooked itself on, and one with like no tail exposed, all on the hook. And every time these fish have, well, there's 2 now, been going for the one which had the long bit of tail sort of trailing off, which I'd sort of expect you want to see, but it's quite interesting. Right, we'll unhook her and slip her back, but there's a second fish and one happy camp. Well, third fish now, another small flatty. Show him to the camera. There you go, but you can barely see him. Tiny fish. You can take on the small hook, which is fairly interesting. But nice enough little fish. Happy I'm not blanking. Tea's running out though, so I'm slowly getting colder, so I think maybe one more fish after that. I'm going to head off home, get a nice warming shower and reluctantly start some work. Anyway, let's unhook it and put it back. Well, there you go, something different. It's a nice little coldy, really happy to catch that. Just something different from a flatty, again on the same bait. Actually gave quite a spirited fight again on the coarse rod, but it's going to unhook him and slip it back. Great stuff. Right, just recast my rod after that fish. Now a lot of people find my sort of style of fishing here quite odd, especially for sea fishing, and you can't really see it on the camera because how it's all set up, but what I'm doing is I'm sitting with the rod on my knee or off the seat, just resting on the wood in front of me, pretty much like you would do if you were feeder fishing or quiver tip fishing. I don't really see anyone doing this sea fishing. Obviously have them on the tripod and stand back and watch the rods, and I do that quite a lot as well when I'm fishing 2 rods. But when I'm fishing 1 rod, this is my preferred method, because like quiver tip fishing, I'm able to have it on my knee and I can just hit a bite instantly. So if that tip's bounced around a couple of times, I can hit it instantly, and I have found that I've caught so many more flatties for doing this, because quite often they can just bite a couple of times and they'll be the ones you want to hit. But if it's on a tripod, it takes a little bit of time walking to it to hit it. So this I've definitely found has increased my catch rate, and again it helps using my lighter coarse rod because of the lighter tip and things like that. It just means I can sort of hit it easier, and again because it's lighter I can quite easily sit on my knee and not even know it's there. That's one tip I would say, and it goes quite well with this video, being on using coarse gear for sea fishing, in that having the rod on my knee and using a more sort of coarse based tactic it seems to definitely help my catch rate anyway, so it's a little bit of a tip for you there. But as I said, I only spend about another half an hour here, then I've unfortunately got to go home and get on with some work. Oh, that has a nice little bite then, hopefully I can hit that. I'm not sure if it's a fish on or not, but no, I don't think so. But still, that nudged around a couple of times, and because that rod's on my knee, I could just hit it instantly. Once it's on a tripod, I'd have to walk up to it, have another look, and then hit it. As I said, to me, this is definitely an advantage. You have to have it on your knee. No, nothing that time, but the bait's still on. Just recast that. There you go. And again, I'm able to do this all from sitting down on my chair. Nice comfy style of fishing. Anyway, let's see if we can get another one. Well, I'm into what feels like a better fish. I don't know if it is or not yet. Oh no, it's two fish at the same time. Even better. Two flatties. A bit windy yet. There you go. Two flatties. One, well, obviously one, I'm about to say one top hook, one on bottom hook, but obviously that's the case. Just take my gloves off so I can hook these. Really happy with that. Literally going to be here now for another, I don't know, 10 minutes. I'm going to go off home, I think, just after that coalie. I think this is a fairly good way to pretty much end the session. There's one putting back, probably the larger one, and the other one on the bottom hook. Both lightly nicked in the corner of the mouth. I say lightly nicked, but I'm struggling to get the hook out. Give me a minute. There you go. And there's the other one there. Oh, nearly. I have to go back. And as I said, yep, probably going to head off home in a minute. I have this one more cast. Still a little bit of bait left on the hook, so I might as well try and use it up. Let's just check that. How much casting? I don't know, about, I don't know how far that is. Certainly not 100 yards, probably between 50 and 60 yards out. Just before the boating channel is where I'm sort of getting most of my bites from. And as I said, I've just got the rod on my knee here, and oddly enough, you know, because there's two fish on that time, I thought it'd give sort of, I thought if I ever had two fish on, I'd give an odd bite, but no, it just capped around a couple of times and hit it, and with the fish on. Quite interestingly, before that though, I had a little tap. So what I did is I just wound the reel a couple of times and waited, then it went round again and I hit it. And I found I've been watching actually a few sort of underwater fishing videos with sort of flatties in, and I found that they'll come and they'll definitely pick out the bait and they'll leave it. But if the bait is moved, whether it's by accident or on purpose, they'll often come and grab it. They think it's getting away from them. That's very similar with perch fishing. That's another bite then. I think I might be in again actually. That's quite surreal. But yeah, that's very similar with perch fishing when you're coarse fishing. It's just if you go off and twitch the bait again, they'll get on it. And I found that with my quiver tipping for bream as well. Don't know, there might not be anything on it, but it's funny you said a bite straight away. Anyway, but yeah, so that's what I did. I twitched it and there's a fish on. I have got a fish on here actually, believe it or not. But yeah, there you go. People were looking at me in a bit of an odd way, but second fish in what you just saw. How long that took? Didn't take very long at all. Anyway, I've lost count now. I thought this was my third fish, but evidently it's not. I just had a couple beforehand. But I think might as well end the session on that fish. And I've had a very enjoyable morning down here, and it's been yeah, very, very cold. But you know, I'm happy now. I've had a few fish. Unfortunately, I've got to get off and get back and do some work, but I am glad I did this session. I just wanted to end the video on a few fish really, rather than me just sitting in my room talking you through rigs. I say I got to go home, but it's always hard to resist that one last cast. Another cast. Whether or not I'll film a fish if I get one is another story, but yeah, I should really leave for home. My tea's ran out, So I'm slowly getting colder and colder, and I'm in need of a good shower really, and I've got to get on with some work. There's only so long you can avoid it, isn't there? But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I mean, I've enjoyed making it, despite it being a bit of a challenge. But as I said, yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and well, I'll see you next time, and tight lines.